How can we compete as a small business with a city-owned grocery store? With their low prices, it's going to be very hard for us to keep up with margins, being able to pay rent, payroll, and everything else.
Well, bodega owners are sounding the alarm as New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani's city-run grocery plan faces legal challenges. Local business owners are calling it unfair, taxpayer-funded competition. Mamdani is insisting that's not his goal, promising New Yorkers savings of up to 30%.
We are not looking to compete with bodegas or grocery stores when it comes to their ability to survive. What we're looking to do is to provide affordability that is guaranteed to New Yorkers.
Joining me now is the Manhattan Institute Senior Fellow and Director of Cities, John Ketcham. John, great to have you this weekend. Thanks very much for addressing this. What is your reaction to what Mamdani is trying to do and the impact on bodega owners?
Thank you, Maria. Mayor Mamdani's grocery plan is an example of how the solution is so much worse than the problem it seeks to correct. So these local bodega owners are not making a fortune. The typical grocery store margins in New York City are in the low single digits. They cannot have the economies of scale that larger big box stores and large discount supermarkets are able to offer customers, but they're really essential in ensuring that New Yorkers have access to essential groceries across the city. Now, there are stores that do have discounted prices, like Aldi and Lidl, that are doing quite well in New York and that are bringing prices down for consumers. Now, these private companies are paying taxes in New York. By contrast, Mamdani's plan would have the city-run grocery store not pay taxes, not pay rent, and have to use taxpayer dollars to subsidize the stores on an ongoing basis. So the taxpayer loses and the bodega owners lose, and they should be upset. This has been tried in other cities like Kansas City, and it's failed because basic economics says that if you set the price below the market level, you're going to get a shortage. So other cities have had real problems with their grocery store plans, and there's no reason to think that New York City would do any better. In fact, just take a look at the way that the city runs its public school systems to get a sense of how the city operates anything. It spends $42,000 a year per pupil, and it gets results at or below the national average. We could expect the same from the grocery store plans.
Well, Mamdani is also coming under fire for this published list. He published a database for everyone that he believes could qualify for his pied-à-terre tax. There's also concern that the tax plan won't just stop with second homes. The Wall Street Journal editorial board says, don't be surprised if Mr. Mamdani soon calls for extending the pied-à-terre tax to primary homes of wealthy New Yorkers. Tell us about the impact here, and why did that list include homes that were nowhere near the expected $5 million level that he's talking about for the pied-à-terre tax? There were lots of homes on that list that are nowhere near $5 million in value.
Mayor Mamdani is learning that there are consequences to raising taxes. The whole situation is a mess. So first, the mayor's Department of Finance published a spreadsheet with 900,000 addresses. Most of these owners are not going to be affected by the pied-à-terre tax, but yet they freaked out when they saw that their homes were listed on this initial list. Then he also sent out 17,000 letters to owners of likely affected properties. Now, they're the ones that are probably going to be at least subject to the tax unless they challenge it. They have until around the third week in August to challenge the assessment, but it's going to be a logistical nightmare for both these owners and for the Department of Finance. And this was known from the very beginning, that the pied-à-terre tax was a difficult tax to enforce and implement, and now Mamdani's got this headache on his hands.
And of course, right now in California, they're trying to push through this wealth tax. If the wealth tax works in California, I expect it probably could come to New York as well.
Well, let's be real about the pied-à-terre tax. It was not necessary. Mamdani could have easily cut $500 million from his budget, but he's afraid of being labeled an austerity mayor. But he also has an ideological commitment as a democratic socialist to raise taxes on the rich.
I see.
Taxing the rich is red meat to his base. And so he accomplished this pied-à-terre tax because the governor wouldn't give him personal income taxes or corporate tax increases, and now he's learning that that has downside for him.
Yeah. Well, do you think that changes after the election? If Kathy Hochul wins the election in November, does she basically agree with everything Mamdani wants?
I think Kathy Hochul knows that she's the real adult in the state right now and that she has to promote the interests of growth, and so she's going to hold the line as best as she can in a very difficult environment against tax increases.
Well, certainly she will before an election. We'll be watching afterwards. John, great to get your take on all of that. Thank you so much.